The budget crisis in Russia is escalating. A major scandal has erupted at the MBIR multipurpose nuclear reactor construction site in Dimitrovgrad. Workers have gone on strike over wage arrears. They haven't seen their pay for 2 months. Around 300 employees gathered outside the office of Orgenergostroy, one of the project's key contractors. There, they recorded a message to the head of the Russian Investigative Committee, Alexander Bastrykin, demanding his intervention. We've been experiencing delays in salary payments since June, delays of a month and a half. Vacation pay, travel allowances, advances, and other things are also delayed. Now our salary payments are 2 months late. We ask you to sort this out. We can't pay our loans. Debts have piled up. The workers complained. They also described intolerable working conditions. They said the toilets were overflowing and unmaintained. Water was purchased out of pocket and meals had been cancelled. We're getting around as best we can because there's no transportation. The shift workers are being evicted. The water is being shut off and they're having to rent housing at their own expense. We don't know what to do. The statement reads, the workers added that they've already contacted the prosecutor's office, but they're putting everything on the back burner. According to local media, Orgenergostroy is on the brink of bankruptcy. Despite its debts, the company's management is trying to maintain its participation in the project and is asking NIIAR, the organization through which the funding is being channeled, for an additional 2 billion rubles. However, the institute has demanded a report on the expenditure of previously allocated funds and, according to sources, has no intention of transferring the new funds. If funding remains unavailable, Orgenergostroy may be forced to abandon the project, and the clients will have to find a new contractor. However, experts note that there are almost no companies in Russia capable of taking on such a complex nuclear project as the Dimitrovgrad MBIR. While workers are on hunger strike and recording videos on their complaints, the company's management is not commenting on the situation and is not even communicating with regional authorities. Meanwhile, Russian dictator Vladimir Putin announced in September that MBIR would be the site of an international nuclear research center. He called on foreign scientists to join the Russian initiative, declaring the development of nuclear technologies of the future in Russia. But events in Dimitrovgrad paint a different picture. Russia is being ravaged by financial problems caused by war and economic exhaustion. Even strategic projects are collapsing under the weight of debt and irresponsibility, and promises of a technological breakthrough are drowning in the reality of impoverishment and chaos.
As Russia's energy sector is struggling to meet domestic demand, authorities in the country's Far East Zabaykalsky region have complained to Kremlin about gasoline and diesel shortage. Governor Alexander Osipov sent a letter to Prime Minister Mikhail Mishustin and the Energy Ministry describing a severe gasoline shortage across the region. Zabaykalsky region, a sparsely populated area bordering Mongolia and China, has completely run out of 92-octane fuel for retail use. Only state vehicles such as police and emergency services have access to limited government reserves, according to the local outlet Chita. The letter also noted that fuel shortages now affect much of Russia, including regions with refineries. Independent Russian media have reported similar issues since August, when Ukraine began long-range attacks on oil refineries and transport infrastructure. In Zabaykalsky region, the major fuel chains Kors and BRK have number 92-octane fuel, and coupon rationing has been imposed for higher grades and diesel. Local officials said a train shipment of fuel had arrived in Chita and would soon be distributed to stations. Meanwhile, Denis Osipov from the Regional Economy Ministry dismissed the crisis as consumer panic and media exaggeration, saying the situation was stabilizing. Neither he nor federal officials have publicly linked the shortages to Ukrainian drone strikes, which have been hitting Russian energy facilities almost daily since July. Energy Minister Sergei Tsiviliov acknowledged limited shortages and rising prices but blamed seasonal demand and refinery maintenance rather than wartime damage. State and regional media have largely echoed this explanation, describing the issue as temporary. Still, complaints about soaring prices are spreading. Reports from Belgorod say fuel prices have risen about 15% since late October, while in Murmansk, analysts note that 92-octane gasoline has reached 86 rubles per liter, around 40% higher than in summer. One rare exception came from a local newspaper in the Kazan region, which admitted that drone strikes on western Russian refineries were a key cause of the current shortages, forcing fuel from Siberia to be redirected westward. According to the independent outlet Astra, up to 40% of Russia's refining capacity has been disrupted by Ukrainian attacks, potentially double Western estimates. Fuel shortages, rationing, and shutdowns have swept across most of Russia's 11 time zones, with the worst effects seen in poorer regions such as Buryatia, Dagestan, and the Far East, as well as in occupied Ukrainian territories like Luhansk and Crimea. Even in oil-rich central Siberia, motorists are waiting in kilometer-long queues, sparking criticism of government mismanagement and price gouging. According to Ukraine's estimates, Ukrainian long-range strikes on refineries inside Russia have reduced Moscow's oil refining capacity by 20%.